there. Fucking but all right, so we got the Bucks out of the East. We pretty much all agree on the Bucks.
Yeah.
Now
I
we're
feel
in
like
the
98% of brackets have the Bucks out of the East.
so I started the East. Dario, you take over the West. Let's see. You would lead the way on this one. Where do we want to go?
All right. Well, we could start from the top to the bottom like we did because I feel like this is going to be fun.
No, yeah, go for it. Wherever you want to go.
So Lakers, Blazers. I have going 6 or 7 games, and I think
You think Blazers can take your team to 7?
yeah, and
I
I'm
would
gonna
like
explain to
hear
you why.
that. Yeah.
For one, it's Damian Lillard. I'm giving him the
afraid.
full
You're afraid.
superstar top 10 treatment.
Oh man.
I'm saying, and it's strictly only because the Lakers don't have anyone to guard him. And it's just, and we've seen people who have people to guard him, and he drops 60, 50, 40, whatever you want.
LeBron would guard him for a series or like a majority of a series.
I think what's
Or
best,
Rondo?
huh? I think
Rondo when he played on the Pelicans really fucked Dame up.
oh yeah, and they
And
swept
Drew
him.
Holiday. It was
They
a
swept
combo.
him. Yeah.
Yes, they did.
That I for me, I'm hoping it goes 7,
Mhm.
only because I think it's gonna help my team in the long run. Because for one, the Blazers don't play any defense, so I'm never gonna see the Blazers winning the series. Like, even though I have it going 7, I have Lakers clearly winning that series because I don't think a team that doesn't play defense can win a 7-game series usually for the most part, unless you're going against another team that plays horrible defense.
Yeah.
But I like this for the Lakers because I think they're gonna have to score a lot of points, and have big stops towards the end of games. And I feel like it's never gonna be blowout games. I might be wrong on that. And if there are gonna be blowouts, I can see the Blazers blowing out the Lakers more than the Lakers blowing out the Blazers.
I think this is like the opposite of like team bias. I think you are like team hating on your own team.
No. The reason I want this is because I think it's gonna prepare them for the rest of the playoffs. If
You're not worried about potential injuries as the series get longer.
no, you have
You don't want them to get done early. Like you don't want quick sweeps so they could rest.
yeah. I think that will lead to more injury, especially with LeBron, because you got a guy who's no matter what people say, like LeBron's definitely one of the most physical, healthiest guys in the league, but you're still
Ever.
old. You're older. It's huh?
Fuck the league.
Yeah, ever. Yeah, that's a fact. So you can't. It's hard when you go all the way, go at it, and then you rest, and then especially being older, like that's how injuries I feel like occur more.
Yeah.
And especially with him, he's always shown that he does better as he keeps on playing. So I think the Blazers making them score so much is gonna help the Lakers offense because they need that right now because their defense has been pretty good in the bubble.
Uh-huh.
Their offense has been pretty ass. Late the last like few games, the offense was a little better, but
Yeah.
so I'm more so hoping it goes 7 to just have that shock to their system,
Sure.
and then kind of get them ready, like going for the next few rounds. But if I had to put money on it, I'm going 6. Lakers in 6.
Lynn, what do you think?
I was just gonna say I think that it's gonna be 6 games, if that. I could see it happening in 5 games.
Me too.
But I'm going to give them 6 because I do think that the Blazers have the potential to just get hot for like 2 games.
Yeah.
To where they just won't be able to be outscored.
Yeah, I wrote 6, but it's only because Damian Lillard's hot right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's on fire.
Yeah. If Dame wasn't doing this, I would have it at 5.
If he was coming in just like averaging like 25 points.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be as nervous for your Blazer team, but they can't beat the Lakers.
Yeah, you got automatic buckets, but the whole thing is Nurkic is there, so he's actually going to be some type of a like body to throw at Davis, and he's also leading the league in blocks during this bubble time too. So it's not like
if you look up Anthony Davis's numbers historically versus Portland, like throughout his entire career, even when he was with New Orleans, I'm pretty sure he just like obliterates them.
Yeah. Well, for a long time, they didn't have a big man.
Yeah.
After they lost Aldridge, they just kind of went
They traded for
with the
Nurkic
guards
and
and
the Nuggets.
yeah.
But
I think it'll be a fun series no matter what. Because no matter what, any Lakers series, there's gonna be drama by the media, some shit trying to make it seem like it's a bigger deal than ever. And it's like, bro, this is a LeBron. We've seen LeBron do this for so many years now, where his teams look like they're not ready for the playoffs, and then they go in the playoffs and they look like completely different teams, and you're like, what the fuck happened? And it's like they just weren't playing hard. And I feel like in this bubble, once they beat the Clippers, they coasted. They didn't have to. To them, it was just let's get our reps in to get warmed up for the playoffs, because they had the number 1 seed locked and they didn't need it.
yeah,
I just felt like they coasted this the whole way. They didn't have to win any game besides the first game, and they won it. And they won it by LeBron locking up the 2 stars of the other team. Like, I think looking at if you have consistent defense, I think it's going to take you further than having consistent offense throughout the playoffs. Because
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
I don't know. If you look at it, most of the time, the better defensive team wins.
You think you're gonna get playoff Rondo?
I hope. Is he actually going to be there for the playoffs? I don't know, and I don't know if he's going to get that many reps in right away. I hope he does though.
Do we know if Rondo's playing?
Caruso has been playing like dog shit.
I'm not sure. I can look it up really quick about Rondo.
You think who's the third guy for you?
It has to be. It's Kuzma.
But who's the third guy for you, actually? Because it's not going to be Kuzma. You and I both know that.
I'd rather it be like by committee more than anything. Like, I'd rather switch up. But if I want to have a consistent guy that we can trust, if Danny Green plays that solid defense as he always does, and he could just be the 3-and-D spot up shooter, I'd rather trust Danny than Kuzma, just because Danny Green has been in a lot of playoff games, a lot of big playoff games, has hit a lot of big shots. So I feel like he's a more reliable guy to have.
I think that's sound logic. I'm going to share a theory with you. So throughout LeBron's career, on every championship team he's ever had, there's always been one weird guy who gets weird stats around this time of year and gets like all this hoopla and attention. And like, it was Della Denova one year. Fucking Mario Chalmers when he was on the Heat.
Yeah.
I could think.
Birdman.
There you go. There's another one.
Yeah.
But the guy is Alex Caruso. He tries so hard. He is the hardest trier of anyone on the floor, maybe of anyone in the whole league. If he scores 17 points a game for the playoffs,
oh wait, no fucking way.
What
no
just came out of your mouth? I can't.
Alex Caruso, 17 points per game is the only way.
Well, the great part about
Caruso getting it before Kuzma.
No, I disagree with that. I definitely could see Kuzma averaging 17 a game in the playoffs.
I have no respect for him.
And I feel that. 1 sec. I need to look at the Lakers team real quick.
I'm about to get it right here.
I wish we had Bradley Beal. I'm so mad that he's not there, because he was the consistent 3-and-D guy for us.
What about Avery Bradley?
Sorry, that's what I meant. Avery Bradley. I said Bradley Beal, didn't I? I meant Avery Bradley. Sorry.
Okay, so I looked up the Rondo thing really. Oh, sorry.
He's not coming back. Yeah, go ahead, Lynn. You were about to.
No. He is potentially going to come back in the first round, but it won't be right away.
Yeah, because that was back in July, so we still got time. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, man. If I had to bet on someone being the third guy, it's definitely gonna be Kuzma. And LeBron wants him to be. Like he mentioned it when Kuzma hit that game winner the other night. He was saying, we need, in order for us to win, we need Kuzma to be our third guy, even our second guy sometimes, which is insane. I don't know, but I think during this playoffs, what's gonna have to happen, or what's probably gonna happen, is you're gonna see Anthony Davis averaging more like 30, maybe even 33, and Braun going from like 25 to 28, 29, and dishing out and just controlling the pace.
What do you
I
think
think
about Dwight? I'm being serious.
he's I think he's a good energy guy. He's he plays he's a good body to have by the rim. I don't know if he's real. I'm not gonna trust him. He's just like you're throwing alleys to him, you're giving him easy dunks. You're not
Why can't he be the third guy though?
because he's not a consistent. If you watch him play, they don't run
But,
any sets through him.
but
It
nobody's a consistent third guy.
Kuzma, they're consistently running like sets through him. Like they're trying to give him the opportunities to score. Like Dwight, they don't run any kind of plays for him unless it's pick and roll and you're throwing up an alley or something.
I think that's a mistake of sorts, but maybe I'm crazy.
No, if you was to run the offense or try to help run the offense through Dwight, you're gonna run into the same issue the Pelicans had before when they had Davis and Cousins. Except you have a worse version of Cousins.
I was about to say it would be way worse because Cousins can shoot and stretch the floor out.
Yeah, and
Dwight can't. But Dwight,
but you kind of clogging the paint, and that's always been the issue with Dwight is he starts clogging the paint.
Is that necessarily a bad thing in a series against Portland where, like, they're probably going to be taking a lot of shots? You're going to need guys out there to get the rebounds. Dwight,
how are you gonna have
that?
how are you gonna have Dwight out there, and who is he gonna guard?
He could guard Nurkic.
All right, and then you're gonna have Anthony Davis out there too.
You really think Anthony Davis is incapable of guarding and not big? Because I would
not for a full series. He.
Oh well, I mean, sure, but be realistic? Does that actually happen? Do people really stay on each other for the full series? No, like you said.
No, yeah.
Go along.
Yeah, but I feel like in order to have the guy as your third guy, you're gonna have to have that lineup pretty often throughout the series. Usually in the playoffs, the minutes get cut. You know, you get more people averaging like 40 minutes a game. So you're gonna have, you know, I just can't imagine that. It wouldn't make sense for them. They didn't. You would have set that up earlier in the season if you're gonna want that.
Let's see Kuzma's numbers in the bubble because maybe his numbers.
Look at his inconsistency. He's so inconsistent.
This is my problem with Kuzma. Like, I wouldn't trust Kuzma to be the third guy.
But wait, time out. That's actually decent third guy numbers.
15 points, 4 rebounds, assist and a half.
If you give,
he's shooting 46%. I mean, I'm not super crazy about it. I'm really not. Like, his bigger point totals are in losses.
So to me, if Kuzma's getting me 15 to 17 points, and because for me it's more about the offense. Like we just need the extra offense. I think defensively we got it, and I think LeBron and AD can control the pace of a series together. So it kind of like shortening up the series, getting LeBron to get you like 28 and whatever the hell other numbers he gets, and AD giving you 30 and whatever the hell other numbers he gets.
Yeah,
make it a tighter series. You get that other third reliable option.
Yeah,
I think it's very difficult to beat them with the way like they'll structure that series and you'll see as I keep going through each game. The only series that's a little weird is the Portland one, and I think that's just because that's the one that's gonna amp them up and kind of get them ready for the rest of the playoffs. So
yeah, okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think that's
go ahead, Len.
My issue with Kuzma is he's one of those players that when I'm watching him in a game, even if he just hit like 2 or 3 shots, I'm still like, I don't believe you're gonna make this one, his 4th one or his 5th one. Like he's a guy I have no confidence in when he's shooting at this moment in time, and that's why I just don't see him bumping up his scoring in the playoffs.
He's a 43% shooter. Makes sense.
Yeah, I can see. I agree.
Like my whole thing with your team is I'm just trying to find offensive production for you that isn't from the main 2 guys, and I just can't. Like, much to Lindsay's point, it's hard to trust Kuzma. Danny Green would be ideal, to your point.
Yeah. all throughout the season though, they've gotten that production from like it's varied. It's you don't have the consistent third guy. That's been their issue throughout the year. But the whole thing is they have had other guys that are like Avery Bradley when we won the first game that we won against the Clippers, he went off for like 20 something points, hit a bunch of threes in the third quarter, and he was that third option for us. But so as long as we have one, I think we're going to be fine because the core two are just the best. I think they're the best two. The two best two in the league.
Who do you think they can do something about this in the offseason in terms of getting a third guy?
Yeah. I think they'll definitely make some type of LeBron's never. I feel like he always looks at the offseason as a chance to just because he's gonna look at the Brooklyn team, and that Brooklyn team is gonna look really dangerous next year, and I feel like it's gonna make a lot of teams change up their ways of doing shit. Because I feel like that Brooklyn team is gonna look more like a big 3-ish, 4-ish, with the way that it's gonna be similar to like the Clippers, but the Clippers are much better to me.
But it's gonna look like Nets Clippers probably is the favorites for next year. But let's go back to the bracket. So I want to see if
and they're both similarly structured. That's the funny part about that. I don't know if it was purposely done, but
it's definitely purposely done. Celtics were trying to do it too.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not on the Nets bandwagon for next year just because I'm not a Kyrie fan at all.
Yeah, I don't think the Nets are getting to the final.
Yeah, I think that if you have the same team for next year that you would be having and just take Kyrie out of the picture, leave Kevin Durant there with the team they have now would be better than if you have Kyrie in there.
I agree.
I think that's a little bit of hating on Kyrie, but I understand it.
No, I agree with it. I think
we don't know how Kyrie Irving is going to be with his best friend in Kevin Durant.
I don't know. I just look at
neither.
This trend, though. There's so much trend to this.
It's definitely negative.
Yeah, and he has I feel like he has all the negative parts of Kobe, like the things because he obviously Kobe was his mentor, and I feel like he took a lot of the negative things that Kobe had, which was like Kobe was kind of selfish when he was younger. Well, he was very selfish when he was younger, and I think Kyrie's looks at Kobe's path and how he was looked at because after winning with Shaq and he was able to win by himself or whatever, or leading a team, and how he was looked at afterwards as an icon, and he wants that. But I think he's too focused on that, and he has been like, I mean, you had a great Boston team. There's no reason that Boston team couldn't have gone further if he would have played with the team better, and like the Cavs team could have been even better. I don't know. Like,
look, the Boston thing was murdered from the first 30 seconds of the first game when Gordon Hayward shattered his leg.
Yeah.
Anything that they did after that point was overachieving, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's my issue with him, though. Is like, that happened. Quits. Exactly, that happened in the first game. You have the whole rest of the season to game plan how you're going to deal with not having Gordon Hayward, and he just did it.
I don't think that's true at all. I think that's like hyperbole of the highest order. But
he's done it 2 straight years.
No, but what I'm saying is to say that he did, like, I think that he did try. He just sucks at it. Like that's like.
So you're worse than us. Like
I think
he quit, and you're thinking he
like
sucks.
You guys are thinking like the way you guys are thinking is like weird to me. It's confusing because I'm just like I'm in the viewpoint of like, so the Hayward thing happens. He tries and then realizes he's like, oh, I bit off more than I could chew. Mm-hmm. Like you remember that in the first year he was like, yeah, I called LeBron and we had that long talk.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was
That told me a lot about him.
But how is that? That's what we're saying, though.
Yeah, so exactly. So if he was the little engine that had to get over the hill, which is Gordon Hayward being injured, or this year Kevin Durant being injured, that little engine would have turned the fuck around. Is what I'm saying.
To put it in perspective, when Shaq wasn't ready for the 2001 season and Kobe had to be the main guy, he was the main guy and he didn't
but
fucking get injured.
Kobe went into that season knowing that he was going to have to do that.
Kyrie went into this season knowing that he was going to have to do that.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Celtics season.
Well, I'm talking about the last 2 years he's done it.
The Nets thing is, wasn't he injured or no?
No. Why? I don't know how.
It's
like,
always something with his knee.
I feel like these are bullshit injuries that they're just like.
I can't. That's not fair. I can't say that.
I don't know because they literally sat him. They sat him out.
Yeah, he's injured, but they're not real injuries. Fuck him. Like I can't do that.
And if they are, all right. So no, my whole thing is it just gets worse from there. Like my whole thing is if what I'm saying is true, I think I'm being nicer to him than meaner. Because if in reality, let's say this is true and he really did get injured, now we have a star that thinks that he's the man, right? But you got a guy that can't stay on the fucking floor now, and then you got all of these young dudes who are clearly wanting to be. They're gonna want to be the man. And they're going to look at this guy and say, bro, you're only playing 20 fucking games in the season. How the hell do you want to be the star in the playoffs now when you didn't play this whole fucking season? That's how they're going to think.
What you were telling me about Embiid and his injury proneness.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Kyrie. I feel very like
he has had many injuries in his career.
And I feel it's very much on him. And he's like, he's used his injuries in fucked up ways.
Oh yeah,
like
the knee shit with the Cavs to make them trade him. Yeah,
and there was like other shit with the Celtics that first year with the same knee that he was gonna get surgery on or something like that. Some weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kyrie Irving, if you're listening.
Yeah. Horrible fucking leader.
That's about it. Through these from Apex Greatness. Here, we'll make a little A.
Wait, no, that's mean. I don't want to do that.
Oh, why not? I like Kyrie too. That's the funny part. I used to. But my whole thing is, I look at what you can do. You can be great at a point.
Yeah.
Which was the 2016 finals, right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And then most greats every great, you have that moment and then you just continue on. You don't usually see that they have a great that great moment and then they just keep dropping off and having
Derrick Rose. That'll be about it.
Yeah, but
off the top of my head.
Yeah, but look at how they view Derrick Rose. They look at him as what he could have been.
Sure.
Like you don't look at Kobe as what he could have been because he put it all out on the floor. You don't look at LeBron as that. You don't look at Jordan as that. You don't look at Larry Bird as that. Like Larry Bird got injured at the end of his career. Like and he I don't know. I just think Kyrie has to do more for sure, like to make his career look better. Because he's literally gonna just look like the guy that LeBron made great. Like that's what he's gonna look like. Because like LeBron put him in position to be there and have that moment in the finals.
They'll play together again before LeBron retires.
I don't think so.
I can see it. I could see a universe where that happens.
I don't think. I think LeBron would look at him and think that he's not. Well, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's the same. I feel like he's only gonna keep diminishing, and LeBron's gonna clearly keep diminishing. Like there's only down from now. So
Kyrie Irving, when healthy, is the best ball handler in the league.
I feel like that's a big asterisk with him now. When healthy.
But my whole thing is ball handling doesn't mean shit to me. Like, is he he's probably arguably one of the best finishers around the basket around the league, like especially for a small guy.
Sure,
but
I would say that.
I don't know. I just don't. It's not enough though. Like
I don't disagree with you at all. I would also agree it's not enough. Well, let's get back on topic.
Yeah. Thunder's Rockets.
Yeah. So you explain yourself first because I know you wanted to.
Me?
Yeah, because you were talking to me about this.
So we have a very similar, so it could go either way, so that's fine. at first so I did this bracket thinking Westbrook was going to be ready for the for the whole series. So me having it, possibly 7 games could be skewed. Like I could see it going like how you have it, where Thunder win in 4, and this because they win that first game or something. Like a game that they originally wouldn't. I wouldn't have thought that they would have won if Westbrook was there. But
Westbrook's not playing for the whole first round.
No, well, I think he's probably gonna miss a game. I can't imagine him missing more than a game. If he does, then they're screwed. There's no way.
What percentage of Westbrook are we getting? 100%, 90%?
I think even if they get 90%, they'll be fine. I think that.
Okay, so I'm not sure about that.
Really? Well, I look at what I know about both Westbrook and Harden, and they're both extremely prideful, but they also like
they're
working.
both losers.
But together I think together
they're not though.
They complement each other so well.
I don't disagree.
Are we saying 2 losers make a winner here?
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think so.
I think so. I think because they trust. Their issue is they never trust. They didn't trust their teammates like that.
But there is a mountain's worth of narrative for this series.
Yeah, this is going to be the fun. Out of all of the series, this is going to be this one and the Clippers and Mavs. I think is going to be pretty fun. Wow,
Nuggets.
I thought you were going to be. Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh, all right, my bad.
Yeah, so, I'm really excited to talk about that one too, Dario.
Yeah. That's
so Thunder Rockets, right? Chris Paul, relatively healthy. Bringing a Thunder team through. If Westbrook, to your point, misses more than 1 game, if you're telling me he's only missing 1 game, I think I might switch my vote here, because Westbrook's going to try and kill the Thunder.
Yeah, but the whole thing is,
he's going to try and do it.
Yeah, and Harden is going to trying to make an example out of the Thunder. Like I know that he's looking
he's going to try to come at Chris Paul.
Yeah, he's definitely not gonna. There's no way he's looking at the series and thinking, like, I'm gonna lose. I think like whether Westbrook is there or not, I think Harden's looking at it as I'm gonna win the series, because
if there's a record to be broken in terms of points records, watch James Harden in this series.
I think the first game of the series is gonna be. Yeah, he's gonna go for huge numbers.
As long as Westbrook's not playing, he's going hard as fuck.
Yeah. I just look at the series, and if Westbrook is there, I have it going 6. Like they have guards to play with Westbrook, but I don't think they had with Westbrook and Harden, but because they have like a 3 guard. Thunders have like a 3 guard set where they kind of rotate. And Chris Paul, what he's done for that team, like that leadership and shit, like.
I really thought Chris Paul's end to his career was going to be a lot worse than what I think it's going to end up being.
Yeah.
I think he's going to end up having a nicer finish to his career than I really ultimately thought. And maybe that doesn't mean he makes deep playoff. Maybe he's that third guy that they're looking for. But if he does only stay with Thunder, I think that's very fitting for his career, and I think he'll do a lot of good shit there.
Do you think his career has been a disappointment?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
I feel like in the first couple of years, people were thinking that he could be the best point guard ever. And especially at the time, he was definitely the best point guard. Like in 2009, around that area.
Oh yeah, when he was doing 21 and 11 and bringing the Hornets from obscurity. Fuck yeah.
Like I felt like a lot of people looked at him and thought like he could like at least try to rival Magic or this dude Isaiah, but
he's comparable to this generation's Isaiah. I think that would be comparable if we're gonna say like skill set and body type, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
To me,
I don't think he's as good.
You want to be the best point guard of all time, you need 5 or 6 rings where you're the leader, and you need to define an era. And he didn't do either one.
Yeah, for him to even be second, he needs at least 3. Because for me, you got Isaiah, who obviously played in the era with Magic Johnson, who was the best.
Yeah.
So he kind of got overshadowed, but he won 2 championships and he played both sides of the ball. Like,
Yeah.
so to me, that automatically that in order to even come in contention, because I know Chris Paul is not nowhere near of a defender as where Isaiah was, and
Ooh, you know what?
Chris Paul's got some pretty good steals numbers.
Yeah, but even irrelevant to steals, he's got some pretty good all defensive teams. He's been on a couple of them, pretty sure.
maybe I'm
'Cause
look.
he's-
Maybe I've just watched Chris Paul for these last couple of
oh
years.
yeah, well when
and
he gets destroyed by Curry on national TV every time, that's not.
yeah.
But
Like, I
that's
feel like
the
you
thing
never.
that's shitty for Chris Paul. Chris
Huh?
Paul had to deal with Steph Curry, and Steph Curry's just better than him,
Well, the whole thing is like
and that's
he had to deal, but Isaiah had to deal with Magic. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, you just because you're dealing with the generation's best.
So this, I think, is a fun game. Who would you pick, Isaiah or Chris Paul?
For what? Like,
Like just, who you would rather?
I'm going
have to start your
Isaiah.
team?
I'm going Isaiah.
Isaiah.
All the way.
I think the skill sets are a lot closer than you would think.
No, I agree.
think
I agree.
I think if you bring Isaiah to today, I think his career ends up closer to Chris Paul's.
No, I don't agree.
Can't be
I think
6 feet tall and carry your team. Can't do it. It's only happened 3 times.
No, actually, you might be right. But you want to know why? Because Isaiah was able to play in. They were able to rough up, like the Bad Boy Pistons. Like, that was perfect for them. For
Isaiah's mentality would do great in today's era.
Yeah,
because he would be so cutthroat in comparison.
Yeah, I could see that though. I could see Isaiah being Chris Paul.
But yeah, I could see
but better. I think he'll be a little better than Chris Paul.
Yeah, but that mentality of like that mean dog, like it's all there.
Yeah.
Very
that
similar.
ruthlessness. Yeah,
it's very similar. But I think that Chris, yes, his career has been somewhat of a disappointment. But back to the playoffs.
Yeah,
we're doing. Fuck it, it happened. We're doing. So
it's fun. It makes it.
We'll take. So what do you want to do? You want to do?
Thunder, we can just keep going down.
Thunder or Rockets pushing through?
How many? What's the? So both of you guys have Thunder. So let's go Thunder.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So Nuggets, Jazz. You guys got. So you got Nuggets in 6. That's not crazy.
Russell, how did you not have your boy Jokic?
So
what is going on?
I'll explain.
This is what everyone was mad about, right? This is crazy to me.
No, everyone was mad about the Sixers thing.
Really?
When I was doing this bracket, yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm supposed to be the Celtics fan. Oh, wrong hand. The shit behind me, I don't know if you know this, I'm supposed to be a Celtics fan.
Yeah.
But it's not really how it works. Anyways.
Yeah.
Nuggets, Jazz, right? If the Jazz are playing any other team, I think they lose their series. Donovan Mitchell is an axe murderer. And Rudy Gobert is the best defender at his position in the entire league.
Is Murray coming back?
Murray's is sort of back already. I saw him playing in the bubble earlier.
Okay.
But it's not. He's still getting back into form. I think if the Gobert Jokic matchup is scary for the Nuggets in a 7-game series. I'm not saying Jokic is going to be like destroyed, but I think that is a huge fucking factor.
I got Jokic averaging 29 and 13.
No way.
All right.
Why do you not respect Gobert?
Because I feel like he has a hard time with those kind of players. Like he had a huge issue with AD, and AD is better than Jokic. But
AD is completely different than Jokic. Completely different.
Well, they bring him out. Like they're doing very similar things. Like they definitely don't have the same game, but they're doing a lot of similar things that kind of throw. Like Gobert's better if you're always at the basket, and I don't feel like Jokic is. Like Jokic is gonna be all around.
But Jokic isn't taking Gobert off the dribble. Like there's no fucking way. It's not. It's just.
You don't think so? Why not?
No, because Jokic is slow.
I think Jokic is gonna have Gobert in a lot of foul trouble.
Oh man, maybe I'm crazy, but Gobert is like a defensive player of the year candidate year in and year out. This is like the matchup. If you're Rudy Gobert, you are like pumped to have this matchup in the first round. And one more very important thing, Utah, murderers come postseason time.
So
So
Utah just had.
three close wins for Jokic. Oh man, they did this shit. My bad.
Why did that?
Because I don't mind me.
No, it's fine.
So Jokic, 3 games in Utah, he did get 3 wins.
Yep.
Definitely correct.
And literally this
But
last.
they were close games.
Yeah.
He did get his 30. He did get his 10 assists. This game, he got 21 rebounds. Is pretty.
What
damn
did he
good.
average for those 3 games?
These games are very close. Pretty much the 30 and whatever that you said.
Okay.
30 and 10 with shooting pretty well. So maybe I'm crazy, but these games aren't blowouts. Like,
well, the whole thing is, if to put it in more perspective, that August 8th game, they were playing. Denver was playing to lose, and they still went to overtime and everything because they didn't have to win. They didn't want to win that game. Like, they didn't care about winning that game.
Then why is Jokic playing 41 minutes?
Because they want him. Like, if you look at it, they didn't. So at the time, I think they didn't want to go back. What are the standings at the time? No, sorry, because I think they wanted to avoid certain teams. So right. I think they were like, a lot of teams were doing this too. Like Lakers did it, Clippers did it.
Yeah, I know.
And they were just trying to like lose games, but they also wanted to get their guys reps.
But I love Donovan Mitchell, and I don't think there's a lot of people on the Nuggets who can guard Donovan Mitchell, or really anybody. I don't see Jamal Murray doing it. Michael Porter, no.
I just see the
Jeremy
Nuggets
Grant,
being
maybe.
so much deeper. Like,
they're not that much deeper. Then they're really not that much deeper. Unless Bol, you're telling me this guy's going to go off, then maybe I would say they would be a little bit deeper. But
versus Portland, though, I feel like, I mean, not Portland, sorry.
Utah has guys on their bench. Like Jordan Clarkson can play.
Like, let's go guy for guy. Like, Donovan Mitchell's probably going to be.
Donovan Mitchell's the best guard in the whole series.
Yep. Then I got Jokic being the best center in the series, or
yes,
or whatever.
But they have a guy who is an elite center defender in Gobert. So
but you also got a guard that's pretty good too. Like Murray's like a really good guard.
He's not really good. He's and incredibly inconsistent.
All right.
Mr. Arrow. Fuck him. Fuck this guy. Because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, this guy's young. Russell doesn't know who he is. Russell knows who he is. All right? Fuck this fucking guy. No, because I really, he's the key to making Jokic even better, if I'm being honest. Like, and in the bubble, played 4 games, shot 47%.
48%.
But he's a 50% shoot. Like, he's a shooter guy. He's a shooter guy. That's what he does.
Notice, guys, whenever Russell wants to make his point a little better, he gives you the 47 over the 48. He knows what he's doing. This guy is not dumb.
It's wonky rounding. I love it.
They call me a professional. That's what they fucking call me. But yeah, I think Jamal is very okay. Is what's his face playing? Will Barton's injured, right?
I don't know. I just don't. I never look at Utah as a good team.
Dude, me neither. But they make the second round every year.
Oh, man,
every year they make the second round. They get out of the first round every fucking season.
Yeah, I could see that one being, I guess, kind of an upset. But I don't know, man. I feel like I got Denver winning in 6 pretty clear. I can't really. I don't know. I don't care much for Utah. So, and it might just be I don't watch Utah enough.
I would love for Jokic to go off and like make me feel like the Nuggets could make the finals.
Remember, 29 and 13. That's my prediction for him.
I hope you're right.
If he doesn't do that.
But the Jazz always fuck shit up.
You can't tell me this man's the next Larry Bird, and then he can't give me 29 and 13.
I agree, but the Jazz are known to bracket bust, and Donovan Mitchell is for real.
Yeah, Mitchell is definitely legit.
I think. What do you think? What else does he have to do to be a top 10 guy in the league?
Well,
24, 4,
Give me more
4.
rebounds and assists. Like do a little bit more than just score. And then he's not even scoring that great. He's shooting 45% from the field, getting me 20.
Kobe shot 45% from the field. Every time you bring this up, every time you say somebody shoots 45% of the field, I don't understand it because your favorite guy of all time, career average, is 45%.
That's fine, but you had like the last
Chuckling.
3 years of his career was horrible, and then the first 3 years of his career, so that automatically drops. Like when you do Kobe's like from when he became like the starter for LA to
Mhm.
his very last year, I promise you he shoots way more efficient.
I will look that up at a different time, not now.
All right.
But
That's why I don't. I just know.
You might have had a valid argument right there, but I'm not gonna look it up. Okay.
No, we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah,
At
because
least
that's
my
what
argument is getting sidetracked.
Yeah. Well, this guy, my whole thing, like Kobe was putting up 28, 6 and 6. Like,
Yeah, I'm not.
That's what I'm
putting
saying.
Kobe
Like
and Donovan Mitchell in the same category.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying that's what makes you a super. Like that's what gets you to the
Yeah.
superstar
So
level.
he's got one more level to go. You're saying?
Yeah. He's definitely like an all-star. You could see him being a little mini star or some shit like that.
He's
but
getting a clutch team though too.
yeah, I agree. But he's been like that for a while now. Actually,
I agree.
Because I remember him going against Houston one series, and he just started wilding out, and I think they won.
That's why it's hard for me to count out Utah. They knocked out Russell Westbrook and Paul George when no one thought they were going to do that.
But the whole thing is he's so doofy though. Like that's my like he looks so doofy. Have you seen him like after he like his face is like he always like has like these weird faces during the game. Like he looks so clueless, and I'm like, what's wrong with you, bro?
That's because he's from Elmsford. That's like Elmsford is like 20 minutes away from my house.
Oh,
because he's from around here.
Yeah, so fuck him.
His dad played for the Mets because he just is confused all the time.
Oh man,
it's really still. No, all right, I'm getting delirious now. All right, Jazz. So, you guys really think it's crazy that the Jazz could beat the Nuggets?
I think Nuggets are like looked at as the third, like fourth best team in the East. West, probably. Usually, like I feel like everyone looked at the Lakers, Clippers, and then Rockets kind of edged in there towards the end of like before we shut down, and then now like people looked at the Rockets as the third best, but throughout most of the year the Nuggets were the third best team in the West to me.
Yeah.
So that's why I find this so weird because I didn't even see Jazz as being anything. I didn't even think about them. I was just like, fuck them.
Dude, I literally sat here at the bracket going, Nuggets in 6. And then I thought, fuck those fucking Jazz. They always fuck me. Every time I had that thought. Because they do it every year. I had the Thunder winning.
Though.
I had the Thunder winning last year. Jazz said, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, always happens. But, all right, Clippers, Mavericks.
Yeah, hold on, wait. Let me go get my charger.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
actually, I'm gonna have Lindsay talk to me about Nuggets Jazz anyway. So go ahead, you're good. Go get
okay. All right.
But, you want my opinion?
Yeah, I want your opinion on Nuggets Jazz.
Okay. Well, I think it could be a 7-game series very easily.
Yeah.
I just, in terms of personnel, I think that the Nuggets have the better team, and I think that will help them in a 7-game series in the end run.
Well,
and I think that Rudy Gobert's defensiveness gets taken away a little bit with how easily Jokic can pass out of that position.
I suppose. Do you think anybody they have can guard Mitchell?
I feel like maybe they can throw some people at him. I don't know. I feel like it will be hard to guard him. I just don't see it to the point where he's going to be doing so well offensively that that they're just going to beat the Nuggets like that.
Yeah.
So for the first round matchup for the Clippers and the Mavs, I actually think it'll be a 6-game series at least, just because the Clippers are inconsistent with their defense sometimes, and they have this weird innate thing where a random player will go off. It won't be like the star player on the team. It'll be like the third or fourth option, but for some reason the Clippers can't guard them that game. And I just feel like they could give up 2 games easily to the Mavs, but I still see them winning in a 7-game series.
I can tell you why that random person always gives you that 30. You wanna know why? It's because of that weird guy that you have there, Lou Will. Yeah, he only plays one side of the basketball,
No,
so it's
no, I
probably
know.
usually his man.
Little Lou Will.
Yeah, my guy, 6 man like Lou. I was surprised seeing your prediction with Clippers in 5, Russ.
Why?
You knowing how much you love Luka and the Mavs.
Yeah, but I also love stats. And Luka's stats against the Clippers are horrific.
Yeah, so this is how I break it down in my head on how the series is gonna go. There's 2 ways. In order for it to go 6, Luka does a lot of the shit that he does normally, and he looks like a superstar, and he does his thing. And then I have it as you're gonna put Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on him for most of the game, and he's gonna look like dog shit. And then they
So-
lose in 5, probably
So-
4.
Look at this. 3 games against Los Angeles, 3 losses, 2 15-point losses.
Yeah.
He had 29 in this game, but it took him 21 shots.
Yep.
36 points, but it took him 26 shots. And this
Yeah.
game, he had 22 points, shot 28%, went 4-14 from the field, 0 of 8 from 3.
That's disgusting.
If Kawhi Leonard guards him, the series is over and it's a sweep. And then when
Yeah.
Kawhi gets tired, Paul George will guard him, and it'll be over again, and it'll be
Yeah.
still a sweep.
Well, what has to happen is you need Porzingis to kind of go off. So I think if you have Porzingis as a good second option or looking like the second star, I think that's how you get it to be more of like a 6-game series. And Luka, because I think Luka's he can get his if Porzingis is doing his thing. If not, if he's just like the main guy, I think it's just gonna be over because you got 2 of the best perimeter defenders guarding him throughout the whole series. So it's just gonna be difficult. It all depends on what Porzingis does, in my mind.
And then pretty much white dog shit throughout the rest of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't see a viable option for them if this pick and pop or pick and roll isn't working. Like, this is their fundamental, and I don't, or their basic move and their basic game, and I don't see how. I don't think there's another level for Kristaps. I think he's pretty much reached his level. Like 20 and 9 here, 22, like 2 blocks. This is about as good as it gets for a guy who's 7'3". Like 35% from 3. He's
43% from the field. Damn.
I mean, it's not, but he's been like that his whole career.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I'm not saying it's not, but fucking
damn. Yeah, I don't know,
definitive, man. Kristaps is definitive too.
I can see. Yeah, that makes me want to go more towards my 5-game series more.
Yeah,
because I'm hoping Luka could just wow us and make it 6. Because I really do want to root for him. He is kind of fun to watch and stuff, but there's just so much things about him that I can't get over, like his inefficiency. Like, he's extremely inefficient.
Yeah, I got Clippers. I could easily see them sweeping. I could see them sweeping Max.
I don't know. It depends on what intensity level they're going on. Like, I feel like the Clippers definitely have like levels to where they play. So it depends. I think because they're still, first off, they're not. They haven't played together as a team, really. Yeah. So that kind of throws things off, the chemistry. I don't know if their defense is going to be the elite defense we think. If it's the Clippers we expect, sure. But I think there's a lot of other factors that kind of what Lindsay mentioned before, where they're very inefficient. Well, not inefficient. Inconsistent with their defense. Like, sometimes they'll be the best defensive team in the league, and sometimes they just look like dog shit. And you have like,
Yeah.
I've seen Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and James Harden completely destroy Kawhi Leonard this season. And
Yeah.
it's just like, what? Where are you? Like, this is like, we know what you can be, and we know how elite of a defender you could be.
I think Kawhi's going to go up 2 levels, in my opinion, than he went in the regular season. And the reason why I can say that is because I've already seen him do it. I saw him do it last year when I did not think that it was going to happen. He did go up 2 levels because he was not that guy in the regular season for the Raptors. Otherwise, everybody would have been like, Raptors probably going to the finals. Like, it would have leaned that way more than it did. And it did not.
Yeah.
It was kind of just a crapshoot. Or Giannis. You know what I mean? So, I think with that being said, I really think
So
Kawhi
wait, time out. What about Kawhi made you think that he went 2 levels? His defense?
Well, yeah, his defense got even better than I had seen it in that postseason last year.
Yeah.
I mean, in comparison to the regular season. And that mentality, we saw him turn into that guy.
That's where I want you to go. And this kind of is just to circle back a little. It's because of the aggressiveness, right? Like the attacking, like
but on offense and defense.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Like, I like that. I love that.
Yeah,
I love when he does that. There's times that he definitely becomes more passive in the game.
Yeah,
and you kind of see him going through the motions. Yeah, but in the playoffs, when he does that, I'm cool with that, and that's what I love.
He is yet to mail it in the postseason, so I have to believe that he's going up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have no choice but to. That's what he's given us.
Yeah, but I just don't know. Like, is his defense the same?
Yes.
You think?
He is him, LeBron, Paul George to an extent, some of the biggest perpetrators of not trying in the regular season of that we have in our league. LeBron doesn't even practice in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like, that to me is insane. But it makes, like I said way earlier, it makes this kind of shit very hard to judge because you really don't know who's giving it their all and who's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Kawhi goes up 2 levels.
Yeah.
And that means, okay.
No, you gotta.
That means even if Paul George only averages like 18 points per game in the playoffs,
yeah,
and he shoots like 42%.
Oh, if they do that, they're not gonna win.
You don't think so? Because I think Kawhi's going 28, 6, and 4 with 2 steals, and I think and shooting like 55% from the field.
No, not 55. He's gonna be shooting 47 to 46.
Maybe, but still, I think he will finish around that basic stat line, and if they do that, even like I said, even if Paul George finishes with 18, their team is so deep that it doesn't matter. Like, they'll be fine.
Okay. But,
you know what I mean? Like, it's not like the Lakers where if LeBron has a bad night, the rest of the team can step up.
Yeah. They have more room for error.
They have so much more room for error, and that's why Kawhi went there in the first place.
Yeah. So
they're super deep. Go ahead.
Just because I want you to understand because I feel like as we go through these playoffs too, you might see me say certain things, and I notice a lot that you say, well, that doesn't make sense to me because you like this and not this. And this is what I'm talking about. And this is why I say a lot of stats don't matter to me, because what you said, you see the aggressiveness, and you said he went up levels. If you look at his stats, I promise you the stats don't say that. It doesn't say from his regular season to his postseason he went up significant levels, but we know that he did because we watched it, and that's what it is with Kobe for me. Like, to me, look, he went from 27 a game, 27, 7 and 3, shooting 49% from the field, 37% from the 3, and then
that's 36. One.
What'd you do?
There we go. 30. 39, 4, almost 2 steals.
What'd you do? 36? What was that?
No, this is not but down there was plus 36. These are regular.
Okay.
Shooting almost 50%, 10 for 20, pretty much. Uh, 37% from field, 88% from the line. Like he went up. He went up a
that's
level.
true. That is true.
That's why I was like,
I
as
remember
soon as
him,
you started saying that, I started typing it in. I was like, I do
but
not
I
think
remember
that at
him
all.
shooting very inefficient.
Yeah, because in Game 7 against Philly, when fucking nobody shoots efficient in any Game 7 ever,
Can we
he had a
go
terrible game,
to
like
his game
terribly
log?
inefficient game.
Can we go to his game log?
Yeah. Oh wait, wrong button.
Yeah, you could have just went down.
I know what I've done. Drum roll. Okay.
Because
Yeah,
I don't know if this is skewed or something. Because I remember
no, because
seeing
I
him.
think you're referring to like the Game 7s that he played, and like
So let's go
versus
from
Golden State when he had already like hurt his knee a little more. Now we're back down to 43%. But
okay.
still 28 a game,
What
2 steals, a block.
So go to his first round. His first round, he wilded out.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, actually, let's go from second round to because to me this is where it actually matters. Second round because first round literally means shit. First round, the beginning of the second round, all the way to the end of the finals.
47%, 31 a game.
So, okay, I knew he was shooting 47% because I remember them talking about it during the thing.
But he's making 10 shots every game.
No. And my whole thing, Russ, is I don't disagree with that. But my whole thing is you look at that and you don't see efficiency like you'd see with a LeBron James. Like LeBron at his prime,
they get buckets completely different.
Yeah, I know. But when people talk about efficiency and then they go to stats and then they start showing LeBron and seeing him shoot 56% from the field, getting you 30 points a game. You know what I mean? Like, but what I like in a player is that aggressiveness that you talk about. Like, that's why I love Kobe. And that's why, like, towards the end of games, it was different because you knew that he was going to attack and he was going to get you what you wanted. And Kawhi does similar shit. And I just wanted to explain that because I feel like that helps you understand my thought process a lot in these situations. Because I do agree. Like, I like Kawhi during I think he is a little bit overrated the way people talk about it, but I think he did do crazy shit and I liked it. I just feel like it's a little overrated. And I want to see him do it again.
The things that he did on defense in the playoffs last year, I've literally never seen.
That's what I'm talking, and that's why I wanted to make sure. Like, are we talking about defense, or are we talking about?
I've never seen anybody guard a guy in the post. He's guarding the guy in the post. The guy in the post passes the ball to the guy at the 3-point line, and Kawhi steals it. He's guarding him. He's behind the guy who threw the ball.
Yeah, he's great at.
I've never seen anything like that. That's incredible.
Do you remember that one clip where Booker hits the game winner over Paul George and Kawhi?
No.
We had.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I was giving shit to Kawhi, but in reality, it was a great defensive play.
Now I remember.
Yeah, he's so good. Like, he was able to guard the shot and guard the passing lane at the exact same time.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand that. There's like
that's a Popovich thing. I promise you, he learned that from Pop. Like Pop's system. They taught him that because they did that all the time.
Pop. I don't know anybody in Pop's system that does that.
I feel like if you go back and you watch the
spacing,
system,
it's all about
and the way that they play defense when they would rotate on the defense, the way that they would run into those passing lanes even as they were rotating is where he got it from. I feel like
Scottie Pippen could move like that, where he's like at
Scottie did stuff like that,
and then took 2 steps. But like, it's a very short list. Is my point.
Jordan did that too.
Again, we're hitting the short list of people.
Yeah, but he's part of that short. Like, he's what we look at as like one of the great. Like, he can be one of the greatest players of all time. Like, we look at Kawhi and we can see him going into it. So to me, you got to be. It's good that you're in that short list.
No. He's absolutely on the list, but I'm just saying. I don't know if there's like LeBron's not doing that. I've never seen him do that. Maybe he just doesn't have the length in his arms. Like, and anticipation, because I know he's got the anticipation, is what I'm saying. Like, athletically, he can do it, but like, I'm not.
Yeah, I can say one thing.
Sense on defense.
I can say one thing. I don't think I'm not. I can't remember Kobe ever playing defense like this. Like Kawhi definitely plays better defense than Kobe and LeBron
Yeah,
has, like at their apex. Like Bron probably could play like guard more positions, but he
maybe.
couldn't guard people as good as
Yeah.
this.
It's
But
because of his.
he doesn't have the
dimension.
offensive skills to me that Kobe and like he doesn't have that explosion that Kobe and Bron have. Like
Ooh,
that's
I
just
don't actually know if that's. I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. Like he all the last playoffs he was exploding for dunks and like.
No, I'm talking about like the point surges. Like you can.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that either because in the playoffs he was doing all kinds of shit like that. But my point. I think the biggest difference between Kobe and Kawhi is every game you knew Kobe was giving you 110%, and every game you're not totally sure if Kawhi's giving you 110%. That's the biggest difference, I think.
In the
But
playoffs,
in terms of skill set, it's similar.
I don't think in the playoffs you looked at Kawhi like that. Like Kawhi.
No, but you get what I'm saying. Like it could be like Kawhi is never going to drop 81. Kawhi's never going to drop 81 in the regular season because I just don't think he gives a fuck.
Yeah, but is he giving you 50 in the playoffs too? Like Kobe's done.
He has given them. He has games of extreme high scoring outputs. Probably not exactly.
I don't know 50, if he's. But I saw a couple like over 30.
I saw several 40-point games during.
Oh, he did. Maybe I'm forgetting them.
He had a couple. I'm not going to do this over again. But
yeah, no,
he had a couple. But if he's the guy from last year, I don't know how they don't make the. I don't know how they don't make the finals. I really don't.
No, I can tell you how.
The Lakers don't have the depth. The Lakers don't have the depth to keep up.
I'm going to tell you exactly why he wouldn't make the finals. LeBron James.
I think that's there's
LeBron James.
That argument's not necessarily valid.
I think he's in a. The nice thing that they have about the Clippers is, like what the Clippers is, they created a team to try to stop LeBron James, which they still can't. And then you totally disregarded the biggest piece of the Laker organization right now, which is Anthony Davis. So you're gonna let
Anthony Davis hasn't won anything. So go ahead, keep going.
No, but in a series,
zero, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I'm saying in a series, you're gonna still have to guard that superstar, and no one can.
I know, but he might crack. We don't know if he's. We don't know if
that's true. If he
really don't.
If he does crack,
I hate to say that, but we really don't.
If he does crack under pressure, then that's 100% true. But I'm assuming he's going to be.
Let me tell you something about Paul George. I'm not confident in Paul George. That's why I think. That's why when I say Paul George, 18 points a game, 40%, I really believe that might be his final playoff averages.
Yeah, and that's my whole thing is I'm looking at AD and I'm trusting him way more than I'm trusting Paul George.
That's the thing. I don't know yet. I could be wrong. I don't know yet.
Paul George has only showed me in the last 5 seasons that he's not what has he done? He's literally he got bounced in the first round for 5 straight seasons, whether it was in the East or the West.
Very similar things could be said about Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis, at least, look at the teams he lost to. He lost to the Golden State multiple times. If you lose into the champs, you can't really.
I guess, but I don't know. It's just that he was barely making the playoffs. It's not like.
But it's in the West. It's in a stacked West.
Yes.
That West has been stacked for years.
If you want to make excuses for Anthony Davis, you can make excuses for him. I'm not here to do that.
No, I'm not making excuses for him. When you look at it, you got a Pelicans organization that hasn't done shit for years.
Fuck that. They had a great team that last year that AD was there, and it was not the healthiest by the time by the time they were in the playoffs. Obviously Boogie wasn't there, etc. But they still had enough to fucking sweep Portland, which nobody expected.
Okay.
And I don't know.
And then they lost against Golden State. I don't see how you could hold that against them.
I also think there's a world where, I don't know.
Are we holding it against LeBron that he lost to Golden State for 3 straight years?
There are some people in this universe that do.
Those people are insane because you're expecting him to beat one of the greatest teams of all time.
This team is way deeper than your team.
Yeah, so my only issue with
Yeah.
just comparing Paul George and Anthony Davis straight up is that you have so many other players that if Paul George isn't hitting can step up on the Clippers.
Yeah.
It goes back to our third scorer thing.
But the whole thing is, besides Kawhi Leonard, who on this Clipper team is trustworthy? Who's done anything?
Lou Williams can score on offense.
What has he done in the playoffs? We're
I could
talking
say
about
the same thing about literally every single person on your team except for LeBron James.
I
Literally
mean, but
every single
also
person.
just look what the
Yeah.
Clippers did
100%.
last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In that first round series, they took the Golden State Warriors in the only series they were kind of healthy in to 7 games.
So LeBron. I'm just going with history. History shows that LeBron James has brought almost any team to the
In the
finals.
East.
Like in the East,
We
sure.
just got done
You could
saying
say that.
was-
Well, he just won the West. Like, mind you, we know that this is not a thing that I want to do, but it's the truth. He has the best seed, and he's the number 1 seed in the West when no one expected him to be the number 1 seed in the West.
I expected him to be the number 1 seed in the West.
Well, you could have, but
okay.
all of the odds showed that he was not going to be the number 1 seed in the West.
That's
they
not
were
my fault that they're stupid.
Yeah, well, they were expected to win 47 games this year, so
That's insane.
and
The
they
thing I
won.
don't pay attention to any of that.
Well, but what I'm saying is a lot of people around the world did not think that. So,
Well, they're stupid. I'm going to say it for a third time.
but we also have the luxury of foresight.
I guess. But what we also have is
Did you think the Lakers were going to be number 1 seed in the West this year?
I didn't think they were going to be any less than 2. I thought they were winning 55 games with LeBron and AD.
Okay.
100%. Absolutely. And I would have said the same thing about the Clippers. I thought it was going to be Lakers Clippers in the conference finals since last summer. This
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Like-
same.
So where we want to be.
Yeah.
But I really thought your Lakers team was going to have another piece.
Why? What made you think that they
don't know.
went into the season?
I just thought that they would have. I just thought that there'd be a more consistent third option on your team because it always seems to happen with LeBron. Somebody always pops out, and
Yeah.
I was thinking that Kuzma was going to put up more than 12 points per game, but he's incapable.
Yeah.
He's not good enough, and it's just that simple.
I mean, this playoffs would tell you if he's good enough or not. I wouldn't rule him out until. I don't rule players out until I see them in the playoffs. That's why I don't. Just like I don't count them in until I see them in the playoffs. Luka, I have that same rule for everyone. It's not just like stars. Like I look at Luka and I'm saying, you look like a star during the regular season. That's nice. I want to see what you do in the playoffs. Same shit with.
Do you think a bench helps you immensely in the playoffs?
To an extent, yeah. Well, usually, like Golden State was great because they had that bench that could add on to their league or keep their lead, and I think that's nice. But the whole thing is, Golden State had a lot of experience. Like when we talk about their bench, Spurs had a great bench and they had a lot of experience. I don't know how much experience this bench really has. Like you got a lot of guys that haven't made deep runs into the playoffs. Paul George's last time he saw a conference final was in 2014. That was 6 years ago.
There's very few guys with, I mean, Joakim Noah, who has played well for them in the bubble, which I did not expect.
Yeah,
but he has played. He looks fit and he has played well. This is a guy with playoff experience that's probably going to get minutes.
But the whole
outside of that, it's a very short list.
How many
Marcus
minutes
Morris,
do you have to spread in the playoffs? What happens? Your starters play more minutes. That's what happens.
So that's why I asked you the question. That's why I brought it up in the first place.
Yeah.
Do we think these minutes are going to stay the same? This is something I've pretty much had a reoccurring theme on our show here with the regular season in 2020. So we got Kawhi. So let's go back to Kawhi. We know it's a completely different team and we know it's a completely different system. But one thing I know about Doc Rivers, he plays his guys more in the playoffs because he's not a moron.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go to Kawhi, he played 30-something minutes in the regular season in Toronto. I know, like I said.
I think he played like 42, 43 minutes in the playoffs.
34 minutes in Toronto. Yeah, I think you're right. But I'm going to double check.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
The playoffs per game. we step up
39,
to 39. That's my
Yeah.
point.
Mhm.
If we're gonna say that the minutes are gonna step up, then I don't think Lou Williams is getting close to 20 points a game here, and I don't think Trez is either.
Mhm.
But I just don't know how they stagger those minutes.
And
Look at
what
Paul
I'm
George.
saying
Paul
is,
George
what if
playing less
Paul
than 30
George?
minutes a game. I don't
Yeah.
think that's happening come playoff time.
What if Paul George plays like complete ass throughout the play? Like the whole thing is, it's a legit question because he's legit done it.
Yeah, I understand.
So to me, I could literally say, what if Paul George gets his 42 minutes and he's still averaging 20 giving you 17 points? Like, what if he gives you an 8-point game like he did for OKC last year? Like you're not gonna win like that. You need
You
to.
might win on this team like that.
I don't know
You
because
might. You might. I'm not saying definitely. I'm saying
Yeah.
the odds go up on this team because of the depth.
And then are you gonna be playing Patrick Beverly a ton of minutes because he's not giving you that much offense. So
I
are you
think
gonna
that
be?
depends on the matchup.
But I'm talking about we're talking about LA. So at
Is
this
he really
point,
needed for LA? You would know better. Is he somebody that really gives you guys fits?
I think their best bet is to just have their best bet to me is to let I'd put the ball in AD's court if I was the Clippers. I would say I'm gonna make AD beat me and not LeBron because AD has not proven to beat anybody yet. So
That's
and
what
LeBron
I
has.
was saying, yeah.
So and I think that's what the Clippers mentality has always been is we're gonna get a bunch of people to stop LeBron because LeBron we know that he's an issue. AD isn't. Or we don't know if AD is an issue, but we know if LeBron is. So we're gonna make sure because if they would let's say if they would have centered their whole team around stopping Anthony Davis and then making LeBron James like just free, this would not even be close to me because it's just like you let because the issue with LeBron is he could do whatever he wants and then he still could get you his 9 assists and get teammates involved. So it's like I don't know. It's definitely it depends on what Clippers we're getting too. Because like, are we gonna get this Clipper team that we're thinking about? Like this defensive juggernaut? Like
I think we are. That's my opinion. I think we are.
It'll be fun if it's like that. But if it's not, I don't see.
Oh, it won't be fun for you if it's like that. It will
No,
be bad.
I think
it will be
I promise you
bad.
this game. I promise you, if it's like that, this series is still going 7 games. They need that. I'm telling you, they need that.
I hate to say this to you, but there's no universe I can see the Lakers winning this series because of their depth. They just don't have the depth. I've been wrong before.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
It's not like the East where if you don't have the depth, you can kind of get away with it. You can't do that in this Western Conference. And the Lakers team that they built this 52-win roster with, like
2 years ago, LeBron James scored 51 points in a game 1 against Golden State and had them dead to right and ended up
had them tied the entire game.
He literally had that. He had Steph Curry on him.
When you say dead to rights, it makes it sound like they were up 20.
I guess, but I mean, he controlled did he not control like that full game? I feel like that was the best. That was probably the best LeBron game we've seen.
Yes, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder. If you just looked at the scoreboard, it was tied the entire game. He had to do that to keep up with them.
Exactly. He went against the greatest team ever when he did it. Right? This is not the greatest team ever. I'm sorry. And this was 2 years ago, LeBron.
There's
I don't
more
think
bodies that can be thrown at LeBron on this team than
and that's
Warriors team.
No, that's not true. You had Draymond Green, who was a defensive player of the year. You had Andre Iguodala, who was a great defender. You had Kevin
Those
Durant.
guys can guard like Kawhi.
I think Draymond Green is a pretty good defender. If we're just talking about defense,
Kawhi here, Draymond here. It's not close to me.
But LeBron, Kawhi's not doing that to LeBron. He's not doing that to LeBron. I promise you. Like, Kawhi looks nice against Giannis, sure. But to LeBron, he's not doing that.
He's already taken a finals out of LeBron's hands.
That's good. He had a better team at that time, too. So that's fine.
I guess. He's
You
got a
literally
great
feel
team
like
right
that.
now.
You literally feel like that team was one of the greatest teams ever, and you're saying, I guess.
But he's got a great team right now. Is my point. Like you're like it's
Well,
not
the
like
whole
his
thing.
team is fucking poop
So
right now.
my point with all of that was LeBron did that against Golden State, and then now he has a second star in Anthony Davis that you can legit trust.
We don't know that.
I don't care what we say. There's
think
no
that.
way Anthony Davis is not at least giving you 20 points a game. At least. He has in his playoff career, he's only done that. So
Yeah, I guess there's so much more pressure on him now than there's ever been though.
Sure, but
It's championship or bust every year now until LeBron retires. That's how it works.
Okay, that's fine. But you got my whole thing is, how are you saying this on one side when you have a guy who's actually like a legit, to me, Anthony Davis is a bona fide star in the league. Like he's a top 5, top 7 player that like in the league right now. And then you got a Paul George who's done so much horrible shit in the playoffs, especially the last 5 years. And Anthony Davis, if anything, he won a series that he probably wasn't supposed to in Portland. He his playoff stats have only been good. Like I don't see how you look at him and just say, "Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna there's less questions for me."
That's
than
because I'm learning from you, and I learned that stats matter not that much.
Yeah, but so in
Both ways.
against Golden State, they were close games. It wasn't like he was getting blown out every single game. He got swept, sure, but they were close games.
Is this Anthony Davis in the bubble? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
Yeah, I think so.
Davis in the bubble.
Yeah.
21 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal and a block.
And he's
shooting
playing probably the worst
42%.
stretch of his career, and he's still giving you 22 points.
And it's the worst stretch of his career, and he's going into the playoffs. After
LeBron James teams have notoriously played bad during this regular season, and then in the playoffs they totally change.
I guess. I know. I understand what you're saying. No, I understand what you're saying. It's not exactly what I'm. Doesn't really. I don't think
how does that not apply when he's done it all his career, or at least the last 10 years of his career? They haven't.
I just think. I don't know. I don't trust Anthony Davis as much as you do. I just don't trust him.
But my whole thing is I don't trust those other guys as much as you do. Like how can you trust all these players that haven't been there before? Less than a guy that actually
outside of Kawhi and LeBron, none of these fucking guys have been here before. That's why I don't know why. Like that's a weird statement to make.
But it's easier. My whole thing is it's easier for Anthony Davis to do better than it is for Paul George. Paul George is a perimeter player. Anthony Davis is a center power forward. It's easier for him to get his numbers and do what he has to do. And the whole thing is Anthony Davis has all the pressure off of him because it's LeBron. Everyone's looking at LeBron.
I don't agree. I don't think Anthony Davis has no pressure on him. I think he has a ton of pressure.
I think his pressure is significantly relieved when you have LeBron James on the court.
I would say the exact opposite. Actually.
When you have LeBron on the court, maybe in the media.
When you have LeBron in your life.
Yeah, no, in your life, sure, but on the court, it's different.
Oh, I don't know. Not in the playoffs. It's definitely not. It's probably twice as bad.
You're definitely twice as scrutinized. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like,
based on what's missing.
It's not easy being LeBron's teammate. Everyone will say that. It's not fucking easy. Kevin Love fucking got sent to therapy being LeBron's teammate. Like it's not easy.
I guess we'll have to see. But either way, so both of you guys have Clippers, so we could do Clippers Bucks in the playoffs over Lakers. That's fine.